Off the west coast of Africa lies a collection of islands floating in the Atlantic Ocean. For most of the world, locating them on a map would be a complete guessing game. To understand the physical reality of Cape Verde, you have to look at the scale. The nation has a total landmass of barely 4,000 square kilometers and a population of 525,000 people. You could fit their entire citizenry inside a single district in Rajasthan or one neighborhood in Mumbai. When the chart updates to look at their footballing infrastructure, the numbers remain remarkably small. The country has a national GDP of roughly $2.2 billion and a global ranking of 78th, with no history of producing the kind of players elite global clubs fight over. Yet, on October 13, 2025, they beat Eswatini 3-0 in an African qualifying match very few people watched. By securing that victory, they officially became the smallest country by land area to ever reach a FIFA World Cup. When the team flew to North America for the tournament in June 2026, the global media focused on Brazil, France, and Argentina. Cape Verde arrived as a team nobody was waiting for, and almost no one expected to put up a fight. The global football community viewed Cape Verde's placement in Group H with more pity than anticipation. First up was Spain, a top 5 ranked nation and the reigning European champions, fielding a squad built from the most technically gifted players at Barcelona and Real Madrid. Next was Uruguay, a nation with 2 World Cup trophies, famous for producing aggressive, highly paid strikers who rarely show mercy to tournament debutants. On paper, the mathematics of Group H suggested an execution sentence for a nation of 500,000 people. Survival would require defying the statistical logic that governs international football. As the opening match against Spain kicked off, the contrast was sharp. A lineup of Spanish multimillionaires stepped onto the grass against a Cape Verde squad composed mostly of men playing in Portugal's second division or lower French leagues. For 90 minutes, Cape Verde maintained a high-intensity press. They defended as a unified block, scrambling to cover every open lane against a technically superior squad that dominated possession but could not find a way through. In front of the net, their lower division goalkeeper, a man nicknamed Fozinha, threw himself at the ball over and over, pulling off frantic, point-blank saves to deny the most expensive attackers in Europe. The final whistle blew at 0-0. Cape Verde had earned the first point in their World Cup history. In the stands, the sea of blue and white flags became a backdrop for tears and embraces. The crowd was reacting to the fact that their nation, the smallest to ever qualify, had just held its ground against a top 5 team. Uruguay's squad brought a fierce, aggressive pedigree to the pitch, featuring individual players who earn more in a single week than Cape Verde's entire football federation earns in a year. In the 21st minute, Cape Verde won a free kick. Kevin Pina struck the ball through the Uruguayan wall and into the net, becoming the first person to ever score a World Cup goal for the nation. Uruguay leveraged their elite tournament experience to fight back immediately, scoring twice before halftime to take a 2-1 lead. This is the moment where the Cinderella story traditionally ends. Once the global giant regains the lead, the debutante's adrenaline usually fades, and the natural hierarchy of the sport is restored. Cape Verde refused to break. They held the line until the 61st minute, when Uruguay's goalkeeper raced out of his box unnecessarily. Elio Varela caught the mistake, rolling the ball into an empty net to equalize. The 2-2 final meant Cape Verde had secured 4 points in 2 matches against top 15 global teams. They had survived their first 2 matches as a debutante nation and earned a genuine chance to reach the knockout stages. To understand how this happened, you have to look away from the match statistics and back to the isolated coastal cities of the islands. This team used their national identity as a competitive tool. Every sprint and tackle was an attempt to validate their presence to the rest of the world. They were showing children surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean that they could stand eye to eye with global superpowers. The local Creole language has a word for this spirit, morabeza. It describes a unique blend of warmth and generosity, making outsiders feel at home. On the pitch, Cape Verde adapted morabeza into a physical sacrifice. They gave everything, every tackle and save, for a country that had spent decades waiting for a single moment on this stage. Through self-belief, they took one of the most intimidating environments in sport and played as if they had been there for years. They did it with a landmass of just 4,033 square kilometers and a population smaller than many international cities. Cape Verde's first 2 World Cup matches yielded 4 points against opponents ranked dozens of places above them. Regardless of the final group standings, a nation of 525,000 had walked on to the world's biggest stage and proven they belonged there.